Billionaire Ted Forstmann made a name for himself as a buyout king in the 80s and 90s, but it wasn't just financial deals that caught his eye. Starting in May, auction house Sotheby's will sell pieces from Forstmann's art collection, and his taste gives some insight into the investment style of the man who coined the term barbarians at the gate. He was bold, he was powerful, and he was colorful. Like this Picasso. The premier piece in his collection is expected to fetch between $20 and $30 million.
He, as a collector, with regard to his purchases at auction, was a fierce competitor, and as far as I recall, one who never lost.
Forstmann certainly knew the art of making a deal. He founded private equity firm Forstmann Little in 1978, making more than 30 high-profile deals during his tenure and delivering 50% annual return to investors. Until his death late last year, he worked as CEO at IMG, the last major acquisition of his decades-long career. Along the way, he began collecting art. In 2004, the same year he bought IMG, he bought this soutine for $6.7 million. It's expected to sell for between $10 and $15 million.
He didn't look at art from a speculative perspective. He just adored this picture, and he pursued it far above estimate, in actual fact. But it turns out that doing that in 2004 was an incredibly successful move from an economic perspective.
Buy and hold was a strategy that worked on the walls of his home and in the halls of his office. Forstmann looked for long-term appreciation for his investors. His first big deal for Dr. Pepper delivered more than 8 times his return on investment in just 2 years. And in the deal he's probably best known for, Forstmann saved Gulfstream Aerospace from the brink of bankruptcy, installing himself as CEO and turning the company around. Ironically, Forstmann really made his reputation on a deal that never happened. In 1988, he failed in a bid for RJR Nabisco because, unlike the eventual winner, rival KKR, he refused to pile on junk bond financing.
He didn't think of junk bonds as real money. He called it wampum or funny money. He thought it encouraged overbidding for companies and over-leveraging companies to the point where they wouldn't be in a position to survive economic downturn.
Perhaps to console himself after losing the RJR bid, Forstmann went on an artistic buying spree, adding several new pieces to his collection, including this Miro, which is expected to sell for between $10 to $15 million. He clearly steered clear of junk in the art world, too.
I think what's interesting about the Forstmann collection is the way that it reflects quite so strongly his own personality. He was a perfectionist and a pioneer in everything that he did in the business world, and he was in the art world too.
And Forstmann, like all the great artists, had his muses. He enjoyed the company of beautiful women, including Padma Lakshmi, Elizabeth Hurley, and Princess Diana. He certainly had good taste and the tenacity to get what he wanted. Forstmann's legacy in many ways was one of life imitating art.
He liked to say that he was the Picasso and his other partners were holding the ladder.
I'm Rhonda Schaffler. This is Reuters.